Alright, so nagbabalik tayo sa ating violin tips and tricks. And for today's video, I want to talk about our left wrist posture. So, the left wrist is very, very important. No? Kailangan alam natin kung paano siya mag-work when we hold our violin. No? Kasi, without proper wrist posture, mahirapan tayo tumugtog. Basically, it's setting up our fingers and hands to properly put themselves into place or into position. Okay? So first of all, when you start out, no, a lot of beginners tend to do this hold, no. Ganito nila hinahawakan yung violin. It's not because of something na innate sa kanila, no? But it's because it's their natural tendency as human beings, no? As people, to actually grab onto things. Diba? Napag-usapan na natin ito before in other videos, no? Pero, ang nangyayari kasing cure for some teachers is they would tell their students to keep the wrist away from the violin. So what ends up happening is it just goes the other way. So a lot of students I have seen do this with the wrists, no? Which is also not a good thing, no? So this is a bad thing for your wrist, and this is also bad for your wrist. So where do you settle your wrist? Or paano mo siya masasabi na tama? Okay, so it's the same principle with anything, no? Especially kasama din sa bow hand natin, to always keep a straight line from your hands to your shoulders, diba? Sinabi natin. The same thing applies here. Paano naman natin magagawang straight line yan? We're in a different position, but this is still one plane, no? Ganun pa rin siya. It's still one plane until here, until we reach our hands. So, wala pa rin tayong napuputol. So, we want to keep it straight. But the thing is, what is straight really, right? So, if we hold our instrument, if you look closely, hindi naman siya straight, no? The wrist won't be straight kasi gusto natin straight na gano'n. So, we have to understand how we could make sure that this hand and the arm will not cut that wrist part, no? So what do we do? So the normal thing to do is to put our elbows underneath the violin. So for me, this is what I do. So what will happen is hindi talaga siya straight pababa, no? Because our hands are curved, or not really curved but slanted, no? It's slanted at an angle when we hold on to our instrument. Hindi siya magiging straight na ganyan unless we are shifting forward. So for me, until dito, hindi pa rin naman talaga straight. But we just have to keep the idea of this pattern, of this line not breaking. No? We don't want this kasi mahirapan tayo mag-leverage. Our fingers don't work by themselves. We have to understand that it works with our hands, with our wrist, with our arms, elbows. Everything is interconnected. They may be doing different things, but they serve this one purpose of making sure it works for you. Okay. So, by trying to put your elbow underneath your violin, meron ka agad leverage over this, no? Hindi siya gaganon. Why? Kasi pag malayo yung elbow natin, ang tendency ng hand natin is humabol, no? And we only want to position it in a way that our hands can press on the strings, no? Kasi pag malayo, malayo na rin yung daliri. Pag masyado namang malapit, malayo pa rin yung daliri. Basically, our wrist acts as a stabilizer for the pressure that we can give with our fingers and how far they can reach. So, if we don't stabilize it or put it in a position where it can do its thing, mahirapan tayo. So, keeping the wrist straight is important. Okay, ngayon, baka yung iba makaramdam ng discomfort when they put their wrist straight. No? Technically, straight na ito. Ito yung baluktot. Ito yung tagilid. No? So, when it's straight, technically, there would be a lot of discomfort. Diba? Yung iba makakaramdam. Kasi hindi tayo sanay. But if you get used to it by using the elbow to straighten your wrist, no? Kasi yung iba, pag malayo yung elbow, gumaganyan. No? Pag malayo yung elbow. Kasi malayo na yung kamay. So we want to keep our hands close to our body but not really touching our body, no? So underneath, ayan, naigagalaw natin. Sometimes you may see a bend. Okay, this is normal. Why? But we have to work around our instrument, diba? Kasi it's already made this way. We can't go here, no? With our wrist straight. So, what do we do naman pag ganun? We still work with our elbows actually to make sure na hindi siya nababali. Technically, hindi pa rin naman siya fully bent, no? Walang ganito. You will feel that if your wrists are bent, merong tension either here on top or here underneath. No, we don't want that. So, a little bit of bending is okay as long as you're still relaxed, as long as your hands can still work with the same efficiency as it being straight. No? We're not going to be super concerned with just keeping it in a straight line because that's not the reason why we do it. The reason why we keep it straight is for us not to have any tension in other parts of our body as well. So yun ang kailangan nating tandaan. Even if we're shifting, so our wrist technically will follow our hands, no? Pero what else will follow? Your arm, yung elbow mo, isama mo din, diba? Just to keep it in a straight line. Kasi yung iba, especially the beginners nga, when they do this, teachers would tend to, tap nila yan, no? Sabihin, ganyan mo, ilayo mo. So, nagkakaroon na sila ng fear of going here, no? So, ano nangyayari? Nilalayo talaga nila. Which in turn is not really good then. So, what I would advise teachers to do with their students is just to make sure that it's straight, no? Because if they feel uncomfortable, of course, they would try to change it, no? Kasi, ito actually, hindi nila mararamdaman na uncomfortable sila. Pero after, no, parang hindi mo na magalaw yung kamay mo, that's when discomfort and injury comes, no? When you're doing something na parang, okay lang, tapos biglang hindi pala pagdating sa dulo, no? Yan. So, I would suggest just to make sure that your elbows will be aligned with your violin and everything will follow, no? Hindi natin kailangan huwag mo dikit dyan, no? Just proper positioning other parts of the body to follow in the position of your hands, no? Kasi kailangan para tayong nagbabalanse. We're balancing our hands para hindi siya gumanito by moving our arms. And by keeping it straight, you have more leverage to do other things with your hand, with your left hand. Hindi mo na kailangan isipin, no? It would greatly help in extensions, in shifting, no? Lahat magiging malaking tulong siya. So you have to keep that in mind, no? And of course, every time you feel pain or discomfort, you need to stop and look. What's happening? Bakit ako nakakaramdam ng ganito? No? But always keep this in a plane, no? Our hand should always be in a plane, no? Ito nga yung plane nito, when we're bowing, no? Straight pa din siya. Same thing here, gumilid lang. Imbes na nakaganito yung plane natin, ganyan naman yung plane natin, diba? So we're working with some sort of plane para hindi napuputol yung connection. It's the same thing as, alam niyo yung Christmas lights before, diba? Pag natanggal yung bumbilya sa isa, hindi nagagana yung kasunod. It's the same thing here. Pag naputol yung connection, when we try to do this or that, mahirapan na tayong mag-function, no? Because everything comes here and is transferred to the smallest muscles, but you need to keep that connection so that you have the leverage, the strength, and the stability that it offers. So sana nakatulong tong video na to. If it did, please do drop a like. Comment down below ano ba yung gusto niyo makita. And of course, share this video with your friends who needs help with their wrist, no? Ayan. And of course, everything you need, links down in the description box below. My course on Udemy is still available. And follow me on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you name it. Ayan. And I will see you on the next video.